It's okay. Off your mind, it's okay. Off your mind,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìí yẹ. Mayegun máa wí. ló bá rúfin o. Máyégún àmì. Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù. Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Máyégún live. Thank you very much for joining me from wherever you are tuning in. Remember, read the caption of this broadcast, the description of this broadcast, like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Please tell them that Máyégún today, Máyégún is live. One sec. Again, as you have read the caption as well as the description, tonight is multifaceted. Simply means, as we normally do, we'll be taking all the stories from here to there, from there to here, and all of that as the Spirit directs. How many of you have seen some of the copies or copy of the thiefnubu's 2024-2025 budget? How many of you? Well, I would have probably bring that to us here, like onto your screen, you know, like see the content by content, but rather it is one kind of a boring, load of shit. You call it. It's a load of craps. However, it is also filled with, because it is filled with some of the dubious, fraudulent figures that will tell you, if you are in Nigeria and you also saw to the presentation of that 2025 budget by Tinubu, and somehow you have a little bit of expectation or hope. Okay, maybe that's a strong word. Maybe you have what is called the benefit of the doubt. Like you would like to sort of like give them benefit of the doubt and not listen to people like us that are called the naysayers. We are the truth speakers, the truth sayers. You know, the ones that will tell you the uncomfortable truth. Or we are called naysayers. So if you are one of those who wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, my only advice for you is just one word. Don't. But if you still want to, that's fine. That's up to you. I shall be here when every one of you will come back and be like, again, like what K1 called BLLB, Beshelo, Leshebo. Just the same way you went is the same you will come back. Tinubu and his gang have now perfected the art of deceit, the art of, false hope, giving people false hope, and turn around and blame them for why what you promised them is not happening. Last year, in 2024, Tinubu presented a budget called the Budget of a Renewed Hope. I was one of those who came out to call it the Budget of a Renewed Shege. Indeed, una saw Shege. So those of you who survived 2024, welcome to 2025. Whatever you experienced in 2024 is going to be a child's play to what you are going to face economically inside that contraption in 2025. See, I am not a prophet of doom. I am just one honest, sincere fellow that is not going to call blue black for you. I'm not going to call red green, for you. I'm just going to call it exactly what it is. And if you see the load of crap that they have packaged, except for the ones they have packaged to take care of themselves, the rest is just bollock. None of it is in your interest if you begin to scrutinize that. And the more you try, the more outspoken you are going to become. But in peace like this, or like bit by bit, I could possibly help you to undo whatever it is that is coming your way. For example, you know, they are spreading this lie, because everything about them is lie, everything. Like, you can ask yourself sometimes and say, how can some basic things, why can't some basic things be truthful about these guys? You know, stuffs that are not really complicated, straightforward stuff, they will still lie about it. And that is why those of them, you know, last year when they were shouting CNG, including those they paid to go and start shouting CNG this, CNG that, where are they today now? How far with your CNG? When they told you that PMS is going out of circulation, gas is the new deal. Nigeria has so much gas. So if you cannot afford to buy a liter of petroleum, maybe you should go and convert your car to CNG. Go and convert your rent to CNG. Convert everything to CNG. They almost said that maybe you should convert your oxygen to CNG as well. It was like it was a new thing. And they were bragging about it. Where are those guys today? Where are those CNG conversion centers they promised you? Now, the old gig, the money they paid people for that has expired. Okay? Just get ready for whatever latest propaganda they're going to push this 2025. Some of them, we can possibly even project them too. Last year, thiefnubu and his gang, in 2024 budget, they budgeted 19.7 or 19.8 billion naira to maintain the presidential fleet in Nigeria. For your information, before thiefnubu acquired this Aloku plane that he paid 150 billion naira for, in the presidential fleet, they had 12 different aircraft, including choppers. Okay? And the way they roll, thiefnubu had one for himself, one for his vice, one for his wife, one for Akpabiule, one for the speaker. And then these are just like proper aircraft. Then they have about 4 different choppers to ferry them wherever they were going, because they no longer uses your road. They do not travel by your road, by the way. Here you get. So this, before thiefnubu, the Bokwari that you knew then was spending between 4 billion and 6 billion naira on the presidential fleet. Just like every other thing within their budgets. They will spend, for example, they will spend 2 billion on buying furnitures for the president's house. In 2024, they budgeted 2.8 billion to buy furnitures. In 2025, they are spending double of that. Over 5 billion is being budgeted for furniture. What happened to the furnitures they bought last year? Utensils, you know, their kitchen utensils. Last year, they budgeted over 7 billion naira to buy kitchen utensils, right? Pots, pans, plates, spoons, knives, and cutleries like that, right? Over 7 billion. In 2025 budget, they want to spend over 9 billion naira buying kitchen equipment for the same as Aso Rock. Aso Rock Clinic, right? Which thiefnubu never really uses. Last year, they budgeted over 4.8 billion naira for Aso Rock Clinic. Guess how much they have budgeted for 2025? Nearly 9 billion, 8.7 something billion naira for Aso Rock Clinic. So you then ask yourself and say, okay, maybe that one is healthcare. So, you know, but the same thing they ordered, like new bed, new mattresses, new changing the bulb, mammogram, nano, you know, all that stuff, they are buying the same thing. In the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume's office, last year, George Akume alone wrote a budget of over 200 billion naira for his own office. Yeah, including in that budget, George Akume spent, I think it was 5.4 billion naira buying computers, printers. Guess what? In this 2025 budget, George Akumen want to buy two printers for 1.8 billion naira. Printer. Get ink, be industrial printer, you get? And similarly, just like other ministries too, they bought cars last year, they are buying cars this year. They bought furnitures last year, they are buying furnitures this year. Well, everything they bought last year, they are buying them this year. Because it's always like a copy and paste. So last year, they budgeted 19 billion, nearly 20 billion naira in maintenance of the presidential fleets. That is the aircraft, the choppers, the insurance, the weather. They have this weather reader or something. Here you get all of this, but they didn't spend 19 billion. They spent 13 point something billion naira. So this year, the money has now jumped to 55.6 billion naira to maintain the presidential fleet. In the budget, they said a particular aircraft will cost them the new engine. They want to buy a new engine for one aircraft for 5.1 or so billion naira, one aircraft to change the engine. They are not changing any engine. It's just like, just job for the boys. Whoever now have the opportunity to be the contractor that they will use his or her name to lift this money out. They are the latest billionaires that Nigeria is now working for. This is your reality. Even though they will tell you that you have to make sacrifices, because now they make sacrifices. For them to work for you efficiently, right? They need all these things. thiefnubu bought over 50 billion naira worth of cars. Can you even believe that in 2024? Guess how much they are budgeting for cars? Not maintenance of the car pool now, just cars, automobiles and all of that. In their 2025 budget, they are planning to spend over 24 billion naira for the office of the president and vice president to buy themselves new cars. In 2024, thiefnubu and the shitty man, they spent 6.8 or so billion naira on feeding, eating. In 2025, they intend to spend nearly 10 billion naira. Oh, Bajabia Mole is there too. Last year, Bajabia Mole wrote a blank check for himself. Well, not blank check, because he wrote nearly 10 billion for himself for his own office setup. All right? Computers, printers, internet. For his office as the chief of staff to thiefnubu, he spent 9.8, nearly 10 billion naira. Was how much Bajabia Mole spent for his own office. And when it comes to then another guy, this is Ribadump, your NSA. Even though the Nigerian defense had a budget of over 400 billion naira, which cut across all kind of like, no, hang on, that was the supplementary. They actually had a budget of over 4 trillion, rather 4 trillion naira for the defense. Ribadump himself alone, for his own office, NSA office, he wrote his own budget of over 48, nearly 50 billion naira was how much Ribadump collected for his own NSA office. This is not part of the Ministry of Defense budget too. But you see, when you now take a dive into all this money, you will understand why they all seem to be speaking in the same language. Because for thiefnubu, everyone that is invited to the table would eat. Just make sure that when you are eating, you are at the same time raising the invitee. I mean, sorry, the person that invited you, which is Koolu. So I'm coming back to that, by the way, because the adjourning for 2027 has begun. This is now what you see on the back of the supposed NANS. Is that called the Nigerian Student National Association of Nigerian Students? I think NANS. He have already started the campaign for thiefnubu said 2027. Eh? So, but we'll come back to that as well. Sowore was a guest 2 days ago at the channels, by the way, and we want to use some of what he shared on this platform this evening. So the first part, talking about the state of Nigerian nation, just like Obi said this, Sowore did say his own too, but they did not attack Sowore. They didn't pick on him like they have picked on Obi and threatening him as well, right? But he said some made some vital points that I think if you missed it, it's your chance or our chance to review that. Let's start with this.
Because I accompanied Deji Adeyanju to his...
Oh, you're not a lawyer?
No, I'm not a lawyer, yeah, but I have appeared in court more than most lawyers in Nigeria.
Wow. Yes. We all thought you were a lawyer now.
No.
All right. So let's get straight to it. Broadly speaking, when you look at Nigeria, I know I see your activities on X and a couple of other places. There's a lot that is going on within your space. So if I were to ask you, what is the state of the nation? What would be your response?
Well, my response would be that the state of Nigerian nation is the state of anomy. That's my response. You cannot define what exactly is the state of Nigerian nation.
A lot of anomalies.
Anomalies, just anomalies everywhere in terms of security, in terms of healthcare, education, the general condition of our people, the economic condition, foreign policy. There's nothing you can piece together that will give you one single answer to your question. That's why it's called anomy.
Wow.
Yes.
So, okay, let's compartmentalize it, maybe break it down. So let's start with your assessment of the management of our resources under President Bola Tinubu. Let's begin from there.
Assessment is that it's total mismanagement of the resources of the country. And I'm not saying it because that's what people want to hear. It is because we were told, as of about a year ago when they took over power, the first decision they made was that they were going to remove subsidy. And that whatever is saved from subsidy will be applied to managing the economy better, to bring about prosperity, to bring about development, and all of that cannot be shown to anyone in the country. I just came back from my state, which is not far, Ondo State, and the state of infrastructure, road infrastructure, that's how I traveled, is the worst I've seen in a long time. I've not seen poverty like I've seen until in recent times. And you could tell that typically when people travel during Christmas and New Year in Nigeria, the roads are jam-packed. But this year, as I'm aware, a lot of people couldn't travel. If there was traffic on the way, it was caused by Nigerian police extorting money from travelers, not traffic due to volume of travel.
Happens?
Of course, yes. I documented a lot of them on our way home.
So you have facts to that effect?
Of course.
Okay, so...
You can even find it on Google Map. When you're traveling between here and Ore, you just put your travel on Google Map. Everywhere you see red, most likely there's a police checkpoint there. So it's a satellite-induced fact.
So the pushback government always puts out when we have them on the programs, on our programs, to tell them, this is the state of things. They always say, but we told you that it's going to be worse before it gets better. Do you believe that? No, they never told anybody it will get worse before it gets better. They actually said they're here to make it better. And they keep saying the same thing. But the question we need to ask ourselves in the media is that, are you talking to the right people? Because the president doesn't talk to you. He had a media chat.
Well, that is a choreographed media chat. When you go to countries where people are serious about governance, the president doesn't have to invite some special journalists into a room to talk to them about it. They speak on the spur of the moment, on the spot, regarding what is happening as they're happening. But the choreographed media chat where you have some journalists who probably have been given questions in advance, although they denied it, is not the kind of media chat. And the media chat once in 2 years, is that a joke?
So some of the questions that were asked, I know you have your own position as far as those questions were concerned. Issues around whether he would have thought through the issue of fuel subsidy removal or phase it. He kept to his word and stuck to his guns and said, look, I don't regret what I did. I think I did the right thing and I stand by it.
But the Nigerian people regret that they didn't listen to us in 2022, 2023, that this was going to be their fate. The people who are getting beaten by the economic situation regret everything about where the country is today. They cannot regret because they are the ones benefiting from it. One of the things the president said when he had a media chat I listened to, which was a total joke, was that he had a friend who had 4 Rolls Royces, and now he's now driving a Honda car, right? And nobody questioned, why did your friend have 4 Rolls Royces? But that's not the issue. Ask the president. You came into office with a small private jet. Now you have a jumbo jet. Your situation is definitely better. You came into office with a small Mercedes-Benz car. Now you are driving a gigantic Escalade. And,
but he was a rich man before he became president.
No, he didn't buy the jet with his own money. He bought it from the resources of Nigeria. And that was a $150 million jet, you know.
But they say it was highly discounted. Without speaking for them, I'm just putting back what they are telling you.
So did they show you the paperwork that was discounted? Where did you see it? Because the transaction that could have been made public. But I'm just telling you, I don't need to go in that direction. That was a lie. But I'm just telling you that they are better off than they came. But Nigerian people are worse off than they met them.
If things are as bad, and apparently things are really terrible in terms of the economy, everybody could have, even they admit to that effect.
Yes.
Why do you think the Nigerian people are quiet or just holding back? Some are saying we're docile. I don't know what word to use and describe. There is no such strong agitation. You are in the opposition. You are both a right activist and a politician, so you wear 2 caps. And then we've seen opposition not as active as it should be. So why do you think this is going on?
Well, you know, I will explain it 2 ways. One of it is scientific. And the scientific part is that Nigerians have a gene in their DNA it's called the happiness gene. You know, whatever the situation, they'll be happy. And it's restricted to West Africa. This is true, scientifically. And that's why Nigerians are known as the happiest people in the world, even though they face the worst condition of life or in life. The second aspect of it, it's not true. Nigerians actually came together in August of 2024 and had a massive pushback against the government through the End Bad Governance.
10 days End Bad Governance.
So, and it happened for 10 days. Probably it's unprecedented that Nigerians have fought consistently for that long, you know, after an election, not after an election was disputed, even though the 2023 election is disputed. But the resistance was against poverty and hardship. So you cannot claim that such people across the country that fought against the government face some of the most dangerous conditions against police, army, including after the protests, being children.
Tinubu and his gang have succeeded in making the people's situation even worse off. And Sowore is right. They didn't tell you that it's going to get worse before it gets better. No, they didn't say that. Tinubu actually was using the terrible situation of that time, right, to assure the people that all they needed was just for him to become your president. I mean, you remember that time when he said, then he went on to say, the 200 naira. Remember that?
Epo àwọn á di 200 á di bàbá. Ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀, a máa gbé wálẹ̀. Ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀, ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀, ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀.
You remember that? But rather than Ogbewale, it got shut up. And then they started telling you that what they are doing is to save your future. Meanwhile, if you ask them today, genuinely, if you ask them and say, how much have you saved from subsidy removal, as you promised that you are going to reinvest whatever you saved from subsidy removal? Now they will start telling you that, oh, the states and the local government are collecting more money now. Because no single shishi is actually saved from any subsidy removal. It's all scam. It's all scam that you are paying through your noses today. A majority of you have actually really like abandoned your cars. Businesses have suffered so much that many of them have died. People have lost their jobs only for thiefnubu and his gang, who have created not a single job since they came in, except the political appointment job he's been creating for his own, for his own acolytes. Then they doctored the supposed employment data, remember? From over 60% unemployed Nigerians, they reduced it back to 4.1 or 4.2% unemployed Nigerians, making it look like Nigerians have no unemployment problems anymore. That's the only thing. That's how they solved unemployment problem in Nigeria, by doctoring the data and every other data as well. So if you ask them, where is the money you saved from? They say, no, it's about money that we didn't spend. You have answers for that, right? There is another part of that chart, which you read. Just a quick one.
Dangerous conditions against police, army, including after the protests, children being charged with and for treason. You can't claim that those people are docile. That's my opinion.
So that brings me to the question of how safe the civic space is. I know you're a big player in that space. Yeah. And I know that you've been following up some cases recently. How would you assess this government in its management and response to dissenting voices?
Well, what is sad about it, and that's why people should be careful with when people come into or try to come into political office with fake credentials, snake oil, that we're going through some of the worst attack on civil rights or civil liberty by the same people who claim that they were civil rights activists. The president reportedly left this country, fled this country because he was running away from military dictators. That's Bola Tinubu. The people who are part of his regime claim they used to be part of the National Democratic Coalition, NADECO, and they fought against military. But they have imposed some of the worst human rights abuse on the Nigerian people since they came into power. I just described to you charging children for treason, which has never happened before in this country, not even under military rule. We've seen situations where journalists were attacked during August protests, and some of your journalists were also actually attacked.
Yeah, where we know.
Including in Lagos on live TV. We've seen situations where journalists have been charged for cybercrime, bloggers. People are languishing in jail. We just had a situation with Dele Farotimi, who was arrested and transported across state line to Ekiti to be jailed for writing a book that they said a dispute, which is completely a civil matter. And before you jump on in and say it's a state matter, don't forget that the Federal Attorney General also filed another charge against Dele Farotimi while he was facing the so-called state charge of offensive publication in Ekiti State, which some has disputed doesn't even exist. So we have some bloggers right now who are languishing in detention, and all these detentions we are talking about are carried out by the state. Because whenever you go to the
by
courts...
what law are they putting them in detention? What are they...
Well, it's usually the cybercrime...
Because I want to put up, if I can have that picture of the cybercrime law, because some provisions of that cybercrime law
have been
repealed.
Exactly.
So what exactly are they being...
The police just outrightly refuse to accept the repeal of the law.
So if I can get all of this, maybe when they get to that particular session, this was the old law. Such
message, Section 24.
Yes, this is like the 2015 part. I want to get to hey, it knows to be false for the purpose of annoyance, and see all those words. If my producer can hold this is a annoyance, inconvenience, danger, obstruction. I don't know how this is justiciable anyway. Criminal intimidation, enmity, hatred, ill will, and all of that. So if we go to the next law, if they can show me the next one, 2024, the amended portion, because I know you've been interacting with a lot of these people.
Not just I'm interacting, I'm actually facing cybercrime
Okay, since this is the latest law, it knows to be false for the purpose of causing a breakdown of law and order, posing a threat to life, and causing such message to be sent. The reason, you're also a stakeholder in the Nigerian in the Nigerian state. So I'm wondering where, if this is the amended law, if people were charged in the previous one. I know you say you're not a lawyer, but you've been around the law.
No, I'm actually facing cybercrime charges myself currently.
What did you do?
Well, they said Sahara Reporters, which is a publication I founded, wrote a story against the Senator Ned Owoko that he at a point set up a foundation to eradicate mosquito. And Sahara Reporters found out that he wasn't the eradicator because we found mosquitoes in his compound in Abuja. So that if you can't eradicate the one in your compound, how are you eradicating on the continent of Africa? So it turns out to be a scam. So I was arrested when I was still under lock and key in Abuja for a different offense, which was treason that you know about, and charged before a federal high court in Abuja, Justice Nwite, for annoying him. Same rubbish, you see. But
how do you prove annoyance in court?
Exactly.
I'm just curious.
In fact, as at now, we've appeared almost 5 times. They haven't been able to charge me. You know, like,
you know what?
In the sense that I will appear and will say, look, you haven't fulfilled any of these conditions.
Already, the reason
but they have, what I wanted to say, which is important, is that that portion has been expunged from the cyber.
It's been repealed, yes.
It's been repealed. But in my own case, they argue that...
Or amended, sorry, the word is amended now.
Whichever way you want to put it. They argue in my own case that it applies to me because I was charged before the amendment. But what happens to people who were charged after the amendment is the conversation you and I are having here. Why are you still arresting people and charging them because they annoy individuals? You cause them because they don't apply anymore. And what we are saying, for those of us who are carpenters, because that's how lawyers refer to non-lawyers, is that, you know, busybody non-lawyers like me, is that there are civil provisions for libel, defamation, and slander out there. So take that route. And if you can prove your case, you get damages paid to you. So that's how it is done world over. But most importantly, if you are a public official, if you have offered yourself for public, it is very difficult to prove libel.
So
even in advanced society.
So let's balance because you wanted to be president, and I don't know whether you still want to be president. Someday somebody's going to speak against you if you occupy that office somewhere. How do we balance the issue of rights and responsibility? Because we need to balance that.
No, see, if you are going to be president of any country in the world, even if it's a banana republic, your least worry should be what the citizens say to you or say about you. For my 24 years in the US, I watch late night shows, which you are aware of. There's nothing else they do on the late night shows and ridicule their leaders. They ridicule what they are wearing, how they speak, what they have said. If you go to supermarkets in the US, they have a section dedicated to tabloids. The headlines are plainly false. You know, they will show you a picture of Obama and his wife and say that both of them are male. And everybody knows Michelle is female, right? They still even do it on Twitter till yesterday. So if you are president and that's what you want to do, you are not prepared for the presidency. So you don't, as president, go after irrelevancies. So I'm not going to, even as it...
Accepted that contraption. Because they are like little men with big egos, you know, and they are like, little men, you know, people who actually really cry. Oh, they are abusing me on social media. Do you know who you are talking to? How dare you talk to me like that? Do you know that I can make you go missing? You know, I can lock you up and throw the keys away. Little men with power. They are more concerned about what people say about them. That is why, because they have been so used to praise singers, ass lickers, crumb eaters, crumb chasers, those who tell them that they are doing well, like they did with Bokwari for 8 years. That seems like years ago. I mean, this same street, everyone was saying that Bokwari was the best thing that happened to Nigeria after sliced bread. Ass lickers. While Bokwari and his gang were looting Nigeria, destroying Nigeria. Every headline out there was practically defending Boko Haram and lying to people. People were not feeling, people were actually feeling the negativity of Boko Haram's policies. But they are telling them that if you profess that, or if you come out to say things are tough or hard, or Boko Haram has failed, then you'll be charged for cyberbullying. It is only in Nigeria that I have seen supposed powerful people in government, whose ego believed to have been bruised, have come out to say they are being bullied online. And then they wanted the DSS, the same DSS that cannot track down terrorists that are kidnapping Nigeria or rescuing the Nigerians that have been kidnapped by different terrorists. The same DSS that couldn't. The same DSS will track every Nigerian down within hours for whatever they posted on social media. Against these unscrupulous, low-life criminals, little men, weak men and women, right? Who are not supposed to have anything to do with public office. And today, they have the population of, scared people, scared population, where if you say something online, you are expected to be tracked down and locked up to the point that the judiciary, the compromised judiciary, also working in cahoot with these rogues. They are ready to also sentence you, send you to jail, lock you up for months, just because somebody's ego, somebody's somebody's feelings got hot, or somebody's heart got hot somehow. So this is what you have in that contraption, because they are used to being praised. Well done, sir. God bless you. Thank you so much, sir, for the job you are doing. And everywhere they go, they walk like, and when they speak as if to say, sometimes I do ask myself, why is he talking like that? Like, why is he talking like, is that how he talks? I say, that's how more or less like they feel like they are doing you a very big favor for being your governor, for being your senator, for being a public office holder in that contraption. In the face of monumental failure, they wanted to be respected and revered. Bunch of low lives, people who should never have any reason to be closer to power. And that is why you see a lot of people, right? They will be expecting something bad to happen to whoever kind of speaks up or try to challenge them. Many times they have actually wanted this Sowore to be shot and killed, lock him up and jail him. And say, what did he do? They say because he said something about the failing Boko Haram, or he's saying something about this drug addict, thiefnubu. While the real business of governance, the real reason why they killed people to take over power, well, I wouldn't know, maybe that's the main reason, because you can't kill people to take over power if your intention is to come and serve them. If you intended to serve people, that means you will let the people choose you. Or if you have to go as far as compromising institutions, bribing your ways, and even killing people to ascend a throne, that simply means that you are not doing it because you want to serve them, right? So here is the final part of that chart. I want it on record too, okay? Sowore still talking about the state of Nigeria. Quickly.
For the presidency. So you don't, as president, go after irrelevancies. So I'm not going to, even as it is now, I get attacked, ridiculed, just as a public figure. I've never sued anybody for it before. People have lied outrightly against me. I'm not going to be running to court and try to get you to answer to charges when I know that I can simply, by disputing it, provide evidence, show that I'm not the person you are talking about. Those things don't apply to me. But even as that, I'm a private citizen. So if I'm president and I'm going to worry about what you say about me, what did I hire the assistants to speak for me for?
Are you going to run again for office?
That is not the conversation we came here for.
Yes. I'm just asking. Just as an aside.
I'm just saying that the reason I'm saying that is I'm not trying to escape an answer to your question, is that I'm one of the candidates. I'm not a 4-year, electoral candidate. I run all the time, both physically and I run on issues. So if I'm going to make that decision, of course, I'll let you know.
Okay, let's talk about election and electoral reform.
Yes.
We haven't seen the electoral reform agenda of this administration. If you were to put it forward to them, so for instance, Muhammadu Buhari was able to put out the issue of not too young to run. So we have the ages dropped for certain people to start running into run offices. There are things people expect to happen in terms of maybe IREV and the management of our election. What exactly would you like to see in the reform? Because constitutional amendment is taking place.
The problem is that we're expecting the people who want to benefit from this electoral malfeasance reforming the electoral process. It's not going to happen. They have told you the electoral reforms. They have already shown you are the one who have not seen it yet. They've already populated INEC with APC members, card carrier members.
You have evidence of that?
Of course, I do. And you do too. They've already...
No, you're telling me.
Yes. They've already appointed 11 Supreme Court justices under the Tinubu regime. I have evidence of that. You do too. You may claim that, well, they are qualified to be elevated, but most Nigerians didn't know all these things. And these are the people who will determine the next election. So they have kept INEC under their own control. But if you don't know, just check the off-season elections they did recently, how they went. So if anybody is out there expecting to see a different electoral reform process, well, I have a bridge to sell to
are you saying that by your claims now we should just lift our hands and give up?
No,
because
we shouldn't.
We can't.
No, we shouldn't. And that's what I always tell people. Is the reason why I tell people who always come after election to cry that the best time to fight is before elections, because you should force the hand of the state and the operators of the electoral system to be clear about what you want to see in an election. If you don't, and the next time we see you is after election, and you say, well, you're keeping an eye on the judiciary, I'm sorry for your eyes, because you're looking directly in the sun. You might end up with conjunctivitis.
So if we want to start that process you talked about now, where do we start from?
We have to be very clear about this demand, be united about it, and force the hand of the government through protests, through all kinds of means, because you're not going to get what you need by appealing to them. It's not going to work. They have shown very clearly that they're impervious to public pressure. So, because the reason is what I stated earlier. They used to be in charge of pressurizing the government. So it's difficult to deal with characters who know the game without changing the players and changing the game too.
So, on a maybe final note, or one more before the final note, yes. The government is saying that because of the End Bad Governance protest, yes, which you were actively part of, lending your voice and all of that, they are putting together a national youth conference this year. The president said it in his message, I think the New Year message or so. What do you expect to come out of those kind of conferences? What do you think is the agenda at the end of the day?
The agenda is to compensate some young people who are in their corner. You know, it's just like saying that the Nigerian government is relating with the National Association of Nigerian Students, and you expect the students to be represented at such table, when the people who are announced leader today mostly are not even students. They are students without institutions. So these young people they are calling to a conference are probably Sheyi Tinubu's friends, not Nigerian youths, because they cannot afford to have the real youth on the table.
If they invite you, would you be there?
No, I'm no longer a youth. I might be youthful.
So you represent the youths. Well, you're a mid generation. You're in between the youths and the elders.
If I'm invited, I will not go. So let's just be clear about that, because I know in advance that this is a joke. And this is the same thing I said about the conference that Obasanjo held, the same thing with Jonathan's conference. So if nothing came out of those conferences, because they've been pre-planned to fail, nothing will come out of this. But, you know, they want young people to feel like, oh, they belong. So you come to a national youth conference, of course, they will get it live streamed, you know, they will get them compensated. And at the end of it, nothing will come out of it. If youth want to take over power in this country, they don't need a youth conference. They need to bond together and take power.
I think the very first time I saw you on TV, on video, was, I think, on 1993, 1994. Yes. During the time of MK Abiola. You've been around for a long time.
I have been.
So what is Nigeria missing? Because it feels like there's nothing that is going on that is really working in your books. What is really working? It's like everything has collapsed in your books.
If something was going on, you would know. You know, like you mentioned, 1993 was the first time you saw me, but that's not the first time I started. I started in 1989, when I was about 18 years old. You know, when you saw me in 1993, you know, on the lighter side, John Momo was a reporter. Now he's probably a stay-at-home granddad. That's how long we've been at this struggle, some 35 years ago, thereabout. But the point to be made is that you also have to call on the youths to also define what they want. Any society in the world where young people are more comfortable with becoming special assistants and advisors to those in power. And when they see young people in other parts of the world taking over power, they praise it, but when it comes to their own country, they prefer old grandfathers or the people we call their ancestors. That society is not likely to move anywhere in the direction of progress anytime soon, because youth comes with energy. That is why there's a retirement age for civil servants. So we've reached a level where we started with young people, the people that brought about independence in Nigeria. In fact, the first political party in Nigeria was called the National Youth Party or something like that, Babat, Macaulay, and the rest of them. The people who fought for independence were in their 20s, governors 23 years old, Obasanjo then when they became president at first were 30s, Buhari when he was first president was 42. But now, in 2025, you don't even know the age of your president. Is that old?
Okay. There's a lot to unpack. By the way, my boss, John Momo, is still active. He's not. He
doesn't do street reporting anymore.
No, he has lots to do.
Sowore, will always be Sowore. So they are organizing what they call the National Youth Conference. And as you must know, it is never going to be about the youth. Nigeria is a place where the young people will prefer to be SA, PA, spokesperson for the octogenarian, septuagenarian criminals in power. Indeed, they praise, of course, they praise young people in position of leadership all over the world. Oh, that's the Burkina Faso head of state, Ibrahim Traore, is only 36. Wow. Oh, the president of Senegal is only 42. Wow. But in the contraption, you will see some of them who claim to be students, NANS leaders, students without any institutions, or like they do not have any institution whatsoever, you know? So Sowore is very clear, even though sometimes I kind of like taken aback, because I remember that Sowore was a guest on Mayegun's Diary Politico a while back. This was before the 2023 charade. And I categorically asked him that same question that Chamberlain asked him. And that was that, are you still going to run or contest for presidency again in 2023? And he categorically here said no, that it is better that whatever is going to happen in that contraption should happen before any election. Fortunately, that changed. And I won't forget, he told us here that, PVC is not, what do you call it? It's not personal voters card. What do you call that thing again? PVC. Because the only thing I remember since that day is that your PVC is poverty validation card. And it was because Sowore said that here. But he is right. I have said similar thing on this platform, saying, if you are waiting for 2027 to change thiefnubu or challenge them, you are just going to participate in a done deal. Your participation is called, you are going to get the participation trophy, okay? Go and get your card, go and get your this or that, and then you come back later and said you have been rigged out. What you are going to participate in is just to validate the exercise. Thiefnubu and his gang, they control the judiciary. He has appointed the member of his political party as INEC officials across. And if you are in doubt, take a look at all of their recent off-season elections. This is what you would expect. You will see, even worse in 2027. So if there's anything at all that should take place I think I have also proposed that on this platform. The likes of Peter Obi, Atiku, and even this Sowore, they should lead their supporters, the millions of them, to picket the government National Assembly, picket the INEC office, and demand that not only should Yakubu be sacked, every INEC commissioner, returning officer across the 36 states of Nigeria must be sacked and also probed. The National Assembly, at least for those of you who want to participate in their charade, sure you get. So it simply means that you should force the hands of the National Assembly to actually roll out a different, brand new electoral reform. Something that if they don't do that, there will be no election. And in fact, you can actually bring the government down totally. But if they are all afraid of challenging thiefnubu, if they are all afraid to lead these millions of their expected voters to actually challenge the system now, only for them to say, go and get your PVC, go and get your voter's card, so that they cannot rig us. If they try to rig us, what will happen is just going to be like maybe what is happening in Mozambique. You see, they will rig you. And after rigging you, the Supreme Court of Nigeria will confirm them, validate them. Afterward, you all will be charged for treason. Yeah, you'll be charged for treason. They will say it is because you lost. That is why you want to bring the country down, not because they rigged you. So participating in already determined, election is not participation, or it's not actually like, it doesn't make any sense. It's called validation. What you are doing is, once you go out there and you begin to say people should go and vote, and they change the figure, and you decide to say you reject the figure. Now, because you have participated, automatically they will say it's because you lost, not because you are rigged. But it's just that it is like Nigeria. It may just be something that will likely never happen. But imagine if Atiku decided to lead just, let's say 20% of his own 6.9 million voters. That automatically means he can lead out 1.3 million people. If Peter Obi, among the number they allocated to him as well, lead 20% of his own supposed voters, the obedient, that's 1.2 million. So 1.2 plus 1.3, that's 2.5 million people. So these are the people that are currently, add this together. Peter Obi had, according to Yakubu, Peter Obi had 6.1 million votes. Atiku had 6.8 or 6.9 million votes, Abi. So add them together. That is a 13 million vote. So 13 million people, 13 million votes. They are currently suffering in the hands of thiefnubu that Mumudu Yakubu allocated 8.9 million votes to. So that means if you have 13 million, that means you are more than the people that they used in validating thiefnubu. So even if thiefnubu decide to move out a zone which he can't find, there is no 8.9 million people that voted for thiefnubu. No 8 point something. thiefnubu no even score up to 2 million votes. See this guy, Kwankwansop had more votes than thiefnubu. But no thanks to Yakubu. So if you have 13 million as allocated to you two, ask Kwankwansop to add his own 1.2 million. That's like a 14 million or nearly 15 million. If you decide to use just 10% of that, that automatically can give you about 1.5 million people who are already at the threshold of death, economic strangulation under thiefnubu. Imagine if you now mobilize them and make all these demands. Force their hands, because that's the only thing that can happen. Or if you choose not to because you don't want to be arrested and you don't want to be tried for treason, there's no point in leading people on, making them believe that they have expecting to have an hope in you, in challenging thiefnubu, who has already kind of like already paved his way for his 2027, if you make it that far. But that's my own position. It's just that I don't have millions of people that I can lead out there to challenge them. But indeed, if they lead you and tell you to go and get PVC. They're only leading you to you validating the extension of whatever it is that you are going through inside that contraption right now. Because to thiefnubu, all the supposed political parties that can challenge him, they've all been compromised, from Labour to PDP, from PDP to ANPP, Kwakwansop's party, and any other that you might be probably intending to. Even if you choose that you want to start your own political party, coalition of political parties, then you will discover that those who are going to group with you in forming this new party, you'll be surprised that maybe half of them they are answerable to thiefnubu, and it's only going to be late time before you discover that, of course. But let's leave that. As for Sowore, it continued to be a pain in their ass. A situation whereby if you say anything in a contraption called Nigeria today, you will be picked up. And just like he said in that interview, they will use a supposed dead, repealed or amended law, cyberbullying, cybercrime, to hold you down. So if you know Olamide Thomas, that was the lady that got beaten up during the 4th year anniversary of the NSAS, program. So they were doing the remembrance last October, and from nowhere the police came and they started kind of like shooting and beating people up. They beat this lady up that in anger she caused thiefnubu, caused IG, caused thiefnubu, and they said because she insulted thiefnubu and caused thiefnubu, so she has been picked up for cyberbullying. They've locked her up since November. She's been locked up. Initially, they had to kind of like kidnap her brother, lock him up until she showed up. Then that's when they released her brother. And since then, immediately they got her. They transported her straight to Abuja on the order of the police IG, Igbetokun. Now, Igbetokun they had a judge in Abuja that remanded her, gave these ridiculous conditions for her bail. So today, she got released. Just briefly.
Revolution.
Nah.
Revolution.
Nah. Solidarity.
Forever.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Socialist revolution. Socialist revolution. The only way to fight oppressors. Socialist revolution. Comrades singing with me. Socialist revolution. Socialist revolution. The only way to fight oppressors. Socialist revolution. Okay. Ole. Okay.
Ole. I mean, they are radicalizing many Nigerians, by the way. The only thing is that they haven't reached that critical mass. You know, people have been so, they have been so traumatized. The most traumatized people in the whole world are Nigerians under the APC, in this pseudo-democracy, fake democracy that they are propagating. That's not democracy, you know? So yeah, until people reaches that critical mass, yeah, these guys can continue to have, their field day. this morning in FUNAB, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, the police in their large numbers, they arrived at the school, supposed school community, and they started indiscriminately, picking up people, arresting them, bundling them into their cars. Until some of them felt like, are we criminals? What the hell is going on? Why is this happening? Then they resisted. So they made a video to share with us. Why the police came to a student community to begin to kind of like pack them early this morning is still very much unclear. Watch this.
I mean, they want clear us for roads. Say, Adeboye back. I mean, they want clear us for roads. Say, Adeboye back. Now, person will shoot us with this. Who slap you? Who slap you? Yeah. Where's your car? Everything, we're going to do for you. No one, we don't do for you, my boo. We don't do for you. You guys belong. Bring him. I'll let him go with you. Give me your word as SCG president. And when you come to the office, I will show you the petition. I told him before I arrested him. We didn't come in the midnight to we came to the morning. No! When you are on that! Yo, Papa, come and see you. Yo. See body now. Yo. School, yo. SFU, they beat us. Yo.
In another news, this time around in Lagos, it was between this woman and some other Lagosians. He is, what's her name again? Toke. She is the tourism commissioner in Lagos. Her name is Toke Benson, right? In an exchange that was recorded by someone, from the report, they said some people are occupying a particular, structure illegally, and she wanted them to leave. We can't really confirm that, but she was like talking to them somehow, like anyhow. Then somebody started recording it. When she discovered that somebody was recording the conversation, she charged at him, slapped the guy, slapped the phone off his hand, right? And then threatened him. A commissioner in Lagos. Watch this.
Get the fuck out of here. I said, get out. Get him out of this compound. Get him out of this compound.
Nobody is going out.
They are leaving this
Nobody is going out of this compound, please.
Kudus, they are leaving this place.
No.
Get him out of this compound.
Nobody
now.
is going out. Hey, Mr. Man, what's your problem?
Who is paying your salary?
Wait, what is your problem?
Who is paying your salary?
What's your problem?
My phone away.
Keep recording, please.
My phone away.
What is it? What's this now? What's this? Everybody saw that you slapped him. That's what we saw. That's what we saw.
They said you should take him out of this.
Nobody is going out of anywhere, man. I'm doing that. What's happening here? But nobody is going out of anywhere.
Security.
Man.
Take everything out. You let them in.
Guys, what's wrong with you? Come inside.
No,
guys,
These are the security. Yes, boss.
yes, we have a problem here. They're letting out spaces and we don't know anything about it. Can you get these people out of here? You want me to call your commandant in Abuja? I will call him now. Should I call him? No, I'll call the commandant now. So if you're not going to walk, go and pack your stuff and get out of the building. I'm calling your commandant in Abuja. What are they saying? No, it's okay. Eh?
They said you should get someone out of it.
Electoral, go and get your stuff and leave. I'm calling the commandant. You are relieved. You can leave. Okay? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. It's time to go.
So the story is not that clear, okay? So from the one that I could actually lay my hand on that seems credible enough is that building, right, was is occupied by a private security outfit, all right? And then she believes that it's a government building that they did not have any rights to occupy. And to her, she stormed the building this morning and ordered them to evacuate and leave the building. And they were like, that's not how things are done. You can't just walk in here and tell us to leave. Like, how do you mean that we are occupying this place illegally? This is our office, blah, 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 blah. And then she discovered that somebody was recording her. So she stood up to charge her team. You know what I mean? Like, do you know who you are recording? Do you know who you are talking to? Do you know who I am? Huh? Hey, security, calling on our own security guys to chase everybody, like kick everyone out of the building. They're like, nobody is living here. That's not how it's done. Whatever the situation is, right? You are not the right person to come and evict us from this building. Here you get. But the only thing that made it to the internet is the fact that she charged at someone and then assaulted him, snap at him and all of that, her being a commissioner in Lagos. In that same Lagos, where Omoyele Sowore, I think he was on his way to the airport. Another viral clip that came out of that Lagos this afternoon is the encounter between Sowore and the policemen who were like stopping people. You know, you think they are stopping people because they are checking everyone for security reasons, right? No, they're just stopping cars because they wanted to extort them. That's what they do. And in most cases, they will just cause unnecessary traffic, you know, on the road. This time around, people finding their way to the airport, there are those trapped along this route. And Sowore was one of them. So these exchanges happened. I don't know if you have seen this.
Hello, Hello.
How are you? Which one? I want to cause traffic for this place again. Not be airport road with this. Wanna come up for roads? Wanna come up for roads? You know, to wind this place down. Why not? We are not parking. We are not supposed to be causing traffic to the airport. We are not parking. Wanna calm down. Wanna calm down. Wanna calm down. We know the park. We know the park. Go and bring your guy. I know the park. Now they cause traffic for roads. We don't need this traffic. This is the airport to this is the airport road. I know the park. I know the park. Come on for roads. Come on for road. I know the park. Go bring your commissioner. I know the park. I know the park. I know the park. When I come up for roads, God punish you too.
That's Sowore. You know, like, park for what? They are not the road safety, officers. They're just guys in black with guns, brandishing the gun like that. Park, hey, park there. Say, no, I know the park. So one of them recognized that was Sowore. Now weary. Well, allow him to go. Let him go. So I know the park. Yeah. Say, God punish you. Say, God punish you too. You know, sometimes, right? If you are that kind of a stubborn, individual, sometimes it has its own advantage. Okay, they do know that Sowore is a pain in the ass, and a majority of them do not want to have an encounter with him. And sometimes, whenever they are actually sent to go and deal with Sowore, they usually want to kill him. You understand? Like when they have the opportunity. If you have seen the encounters with Sowore with all these guys, they've shot at him before, attempted to kill him. They've tried, right, to poison him inside the courtroom before. But somehow, other ones on the streets, they kind of like do recognize, it's Sowore, now weary. Let him go. God punish you. Say, God punish you too. It has its own advantage. That's why they say, if you are not mad, you cannot survive in that contraption. When illegality, absurdity, abnormalities have become legal and normal, that is what the contraption is mostly made of. Remember C. King, the young man that called out the police, the criminal police, last year, December, and he was declared wanted by the same police on their Facebook group until he got kidnapped. And they made an attempt to actually have him locked up for months. Well, he fulfilled, his bail conditions just about 2 days ago or thereabouts. From his own experience, he had this to say: those he saw in Kirikiri for that 2 weeks, he was there.
Now, the first case on my desk here, person dey inside Kirikiri. Yes, they say it's still generator. Him wey steal the generator. The person wey sell the generator too. Yes, someone stole a generator. The person wey steal generator and person wey sell the generator. Two of them dey inside Kirikiri since 1999. Calculate the years. How many years from 1999 to 2024? 2025 now, they still in prison. Generator. That guy wey steal generator, he don't repair generator tire inside prison. Why person go steal generator? person wey dey sell the generator, wey him money buy am, e dey prison since 1999. Poor Nigerians. Na im full kirikiri. I ask myself when I enter kirikiri, abi shey kirikiri for the rich dey? No, na only one kirikiri dey. When I enter am, poor, voiceless, poor people. Na im full kirikiri. Una see na life. Ah, I pity una. Poor people na im full kirikiri. When I continue that nonsense when I dey do, I dey see everything o. When I continue, now I go learn. All of now wey dey comment nonsense, now I go soon learn. When I continue,
Like waiting my eyes see. If I begin to talk, that is the meaning I can give to that is expression. Yeah, I don't know if they bobbed his head while in prison, or maybe he did it himself. But he's had his dread cut off, shaved, everything shaved. He hasn't told us what happened though. I don't think they did that to him in there. Maybe he did, or by himself. I don't know. But that young man, what he saw in prison, probably for the rest of his life, he will have PTSD of that. And he kind of will be able to see the picture, the true picture of Nigeria that way. That prison in Nigeria, okay, is for the petty criminals or even those who are innocent. Imagine you buy a stolen good, right? And then you prove that you bought the stolen good out of, what do you call it, unknowingly. But you ended up spending 26 years in prison. Like what kind of a legal system does that to people? While those who have the career in looting billions, generational wealth, are the ones who are sitting in those executive governmental offices across the country. Those who are like economic saboteurs, who have sabotaged the system, those who have stolen the commonwealth of the people, they are walking about. They are being given chieftaincy titles. They are the executive representatives of that contraption all over the world. But petty criminals are spending years. What kind of legal justice or criminal justice system is that? And that's true. If you go into their prisons, you'll get to see how effed up the contraption is. So if you are poor, it is actually a very big sin in Nigeria. It is only the poor that Nigeria happens to all the time. So when you hear the word, may Nigeria not happen to you, it's a prayer that shouldn't just pass you by without you saying amen, even though whether you say amen or not, like we are all awaiting victims anyway. What kind of a system is that? System where citizens are treated like slaves in their own country. Is pal, just like they declared this seeking guy wanted, they've declared his other pal as well wanted, and he's raised alarm. So very soon you may hear that they've kidnapped him too and send him to prison.
So now, you don't reach like this, Abby. You don't reach like this, so they pick everybody. Anyway, they say police come my working place, come they show them my picture. Say this guy is wanted. So now, police say don't declare me wanted. They find me too. Abby, no, I respect this thing. We know, I respect this thing. So, police, if now one declare me wanted, it better make una put up for the whole social media platform. Make the whole Nigeria know. No be saying I can't kidnap you. Because if I can't kidnap me, I go fight you. I tell you now. As na kidnap seeking, Amasi Young. Man, I no call kidnap you. Wanted, man, I go declare. Wanted, say this guy is a criminal. Man, I declare me wanted. Man, I talk with you, I do. Man, I put her in a banner. Man, I post her. Man, I don't find me cause say, no, no way. As I say, you name me, no wear uniform. Me, I go fight you because you don't wear uniform. So now.
That's it. They will declare you wanted. And they will begin to hunt for you. If they have to camp around your known route, they will do it until you are captured. And why? Because what you said about these roads online. So when my friend told me that, when I said, I've not done anything wrong, if I go to Nigeria, there's nothing anybody can hold me for because I've not done anything wrong. They said, no, you don't have to do anything wrong. Nigeria has become so lawless and captured by this bunch of criminals that this their fragile ego. The only way they can make themselves feel better once you hurt their feelings is for them to use the same instrument of government, instrument of states, the resources of states to track you down and lock you up because it makes them feel better. If people begin to say, free this, free that, free him, free Mayegun, free this and that, it makes them feel like, yes, we have asserted our authority, our control. We have shown to you how powerful we are. This is our, our space. You don't have to do anything wrong. All you have to do is just hurt somebody's feelings. And someone, even if you hurt their family members' feelings, then you have offended the law. It's as simple as that. Cyberbullying. You are bullying me on social media, bullying a governor, bullying a president, bullying a president's son, bullying the police IG. How? Because you have men of questionable character with fragile ego, low men of low mentality, low, credibility. They probably don't even have any credibility at all. That is what the contraption is. Unfortunately, you don't have to do anything wrong. Once you make them feel so little of themselves, that's it. And in that same contraption, Adeboye came out to ask all of us to go on 100 days fasting and prayer. 100 days. For Nigeria to get better, we need to come together and then fast and pray for 100 days. God damn it, man. That's going to be like until April. Fasting and prayer.
As I expected, I came across one of Nigeria's biggest church leaders declaring 100 days of fasting for Nigeria. He said the country will soon experience peace after the church's 100-day fast is over. Now, it will be completely delusional to think that these people do not know that these prayers and fasting absolutely do nothing to improve Nigeria's trajectory. Yet every new year, we start with these prayers for a better Nigeria. So I'm asking this morning, what more do you want God to do for Nigeria? Because if nations across the world were to argue as to who is God's favorite child, Nigeria will undoubtedly be seen as one of God's favorite children. God gave Nigeria everything, way more natural and human resources than most countries on earth. Arable land, no natural disasters, fantastic weather for agriculture, some of the most brilliant minds on earth, a people with the skills to thrive in any part of the world that we have found. God didn't fail Nigeria one bit. Nigerians failed Nigeria. God gave this nation fertile soil, rivers that flow like veins through the heart of the nation. Nigeria is not lacking in blessings that we need to pray for. It is instead drowning in gross mismanagement. So again, what more do you want God to do for Nigeria as you fast for 100 days? What more is God meant to do for our country? To choose your leaders for you? To help you jail your corrupt politicians? To help you properly utilize all the vast resources that He has already blessed us with? There's almost no nation on the continent that should have been at par with Nigeria in development and quality of life for its citizens. If you think about just the wealth we should have from oil alone, take a look at what other countries have done with their own oil wealth. Think of what the Niger Delta alone could look like if we managed our resources better. So stop praying to God to bless Nigeria. He's already blessed us beyond what we could ever imagine. And again, when you are calling on God to save Nigeria, what exactly do you want him to do? God is not going to run your elections for you. He's not going to run your justice system for you. He will not create a better constitution for Nigeria. All of those things were left for you to handle as Nigerians, the best that you could. But instead, we've allowed the worst to rule over us. We've placed tribe and religion over prosperity as a nation. We've allowed the destruction of our institutions by our fellow citizens. God didn't abandon Nigeria. Nigerians instead have laid our bed this way, and so we must lay on it. Your National Assembly members are singing on your mandate, we shall stand. One state governor cannot read his own budget figures. One state governor paid his children's school fees till graduation and is currently being welcomed home like a hero. Where do you want God to step in here? If your governor can't read his own budget figures, what do you want God to do in a situation like that? Again, we have laid our bed. Let us lie on it. Good morning.
Thank you. So to those of you who think God is a magician, you are blaspheming against that same God. God is not a magician. It's never, because it's act of hypocrisy for majority of you to be backing criminals, the known criminals, as Nigerians who love your oppressors differently. It's either you love them because they are from your tribe, or you practice the same religion with them, you know? So then you mock God. What do you want God to do for you? You want God to arrest your criminal leaders, the same ones that you are defending on social media, like fighting yourself, tearing yourselves apart. There are those who have created, created life for themselves, being tribal, ethnic jingoist on social media because of thiefnubu. So what do you want God to do? You have criminals left, right, and center, from all ethnic, from all tribes, from all religion. Every one of them, you know, feathering their own nest. And then you are praying to which God? Are you not mocking God? To those of you who are religious, is that not mocking God? Let's pray for Nigeria to be better. Are you mad, Nini? Or are you not mad like this? Because it's pure, it is pure blasphemy, hypocrisy. You know what is right, and you can see what is going on. Or somehow, you are telling yourself that we should pray to God to change their heart. Alaye, the same God that you are praying to change their hearts. Because some of you believe that there are some evil spirits around power. And the only thing that can make the criminal politicians you have in Nigeria to do the right thing is to pray for them. But the evil spirit is not making them steal your money and then empty their bank account and throw all the money on the streets because they are mad. No. So what you are doing is that you are blaspheming God. And it's unfortunate that there is this sizable number of mad people in Nigeria hiding under religion, making the life of these rogues easier. There was a time that Wirewike had something to say about those who send their children abroad for education.
That means you have to pay for it. And some of these courses, you don't need to send them abroad. What we said in our own case, listen, why do I have to send somebody who wants to study English overseas? Why do I want to send somebody who wants to study economics overseas? Why do I want to send somebody who wants to read law overseas? When you know that we have very good faculties in these areas, in Nigerian universities. Now, we thought, if I'm sending you overseas, must be on peculiar, very clear areas that we lack, that we want our people to go and study. Maybe some areas of engineering, maybe some areas of medicine, maybe some areas of agriculture, maybe some areas of ICT. Right? So we say, look, for those of them in final year, nuisance lele.
But guess what? His own son just graduated from Queen Mary College. That he went to go and study law. That's his son. And he, Wirewike, traveled down, and his wife and some other member of his family and those who are like his own political associates, all dressed, all, the flight and everything paid for, to come to London, to come and celebrate his son that came to do his law degree. Very soon, his son will probably be appointed, if he will go back to Nigeria and join law school. And then maybe in another 2 years or so, or 3 years, when I go here say they don't appoint him with the weakest son as a magistrate court judge somewhere, in Rivers or somewhere. Like his wife has been appointed as member of the Supreme Court justice. Do you know that with the weakest wife is among the panel of the Supreme Court justices in Nigeria? So in case if you don't know, those are the people that will determine your 2027 elections, by the way. So very soon you go here say his son that you are seeing his image on your screen is now a judge. At least. Ogunwumiju, whose mother is also a Supreme Court justice. Ogunwumiju became a senior advocate of nuisance in Nigeria in the chamber of Afe Babanlaole, remember? And you were supposed to have, actually, like they said, it takes about 10 years. Okay, it takes about 10 years for you to become a senior advocate of nuisance in that contraption. And also, you must have instituted, and I don't know if you have to win the cases, you must have instituted at least 10 like serious cases up to the Supreme Court before you can be awarded the senior advocate of nuisance in that contraption. But Ogunwumiju is a senior advocate of nuisance, having joined Afe Babanlaole's chamber, and he became a son within just 3 years. So they celebrated that. So for the future of how to control the political space in that contraption, when they rig election, their children, their wives are the judges. So if you go and compete with them and thinking that there's you will never think, except if you are so stupid, like that's when you think there's a judicial system that will correct any of those cheating. That's how they build it. That's how they set that's how they set their own blood in charge of the judiciary. And guess what? They said it is because when they discovered around the 2004, when politicians in Nigeria discovered that, judges are very powerful. Here you get, like instead of having to bribe judges, how about we actually send our own children and our own wives to become judges? Because a judge is so powerful that it can actually declare somebody winner of an election, even if that person did not contest election. Once they discovered that, they started filling the space with their family members, with their children and wives. That's one of them, the hypocrites. Okay? And let's go to the police report. Okay? There is this parade done by the police PRO. They call it Police Public Relation Officer, PPRO, in Abuja, Muyiwa Ladejobi. Now, Muyiwa paraded some group of kidnappers. One of them is the father of 33 children. 33 children in that contraption. How? Well, they would need to eat. So he became a kidnapper. And he was among those paraded. Others are, ladies who were also kidnappers. But they are not like kidnappers for ransom. They kidnap children and give them to families looking to adopt children. They don't give them as an adopted children. They sell them to the families that is ready to pay the price. All of this inside that same contraption. This is a long watch, okay? Let's start with this.
Yali Hassan, male, 35. Ado Aruna, male, 58 years. Musa Yao, male, 58 years. About 58. What are you doing in armed robbery? 58. Smart and I go say now you to the cause problem. That's not the cause problem. One AK-47 rifle, 2 empty magazines, 1 locally fabricated rifle were recovered from them. The first suspect, Omoyele Sowore, belongs to a gang, notorious gang, known for operating around the Kaduna-Kano axis. His gang has been involved in 7 different operations in the past year, receiving ransoms ranging from 2 million to 10 million naira. The second suspect, Ado Aruna, is a vigilante of the Angwa Kanawa community, Zaria in Kaduna State. He had contracted a group of kidnappers to adopt one Alhaji Anas Basiru of the same community, who is married to one of his daughters. Alhaji Anas Basiru was abducted alongside his 2 wives, 3 children, and younger brother for over 2 months, and were only released after the payment of 13 million naira, 4 motorcycles, and 300,000 naira Airtel recharge card as ransom. Ado Aruna, as the informant and catalyst of the operation, got the sum of 200,000 naira as a commission. The third suspect, Musa Yao, was contacted by one Alhaji Sabitu, receiving 50,000 naira to kidnap one Alhaji Rabahani Danwada, who he had gotten into a dispute with. Musa Yao then reached out to a group of kidnappers and spearheaded the kidnapping of Alhaji Rabahani Danwada. Before now?
Yes, before now.
I said it, there have been in so many kidnapping cases, and his mother, one of the victims, adopted, who was almost taken abroad here. Anyway, they take it. They have any case to answer. The major man, the first one is Omoyele Sowore. Do you speak English? Let him tell us.
35 years.
35. Are you married? How many wives?
2 wives.
Really? How many children?
He has 10 children.
10?
Yes.
You actually need money. But not in this way. Since when did you start this kidnapping business?
1 year ago.
1
year ago.
Who introduced you to it?
His gang member, Umar.
Where are they now?
Umar are yet to be arrested.
Let's ask him now. Who is this man?
They are in
Kidanda. How much have you realized so far since you started kidnapping business?
There was 10 million naira. Yes.
English. Father, came back and this out so that I jigged it.
Okay. He was given 10 million naira. The second one was 7 million.
What did he do with the money?
He bought a vehicle with it.
How many vehicles? One. How much did you buy it?
1.5 million.
So what did you use the rest money for, the remaining money? You spend them. How did you get your gun you are using?
It was Umar, his gang leader.
Okay. What?
I bet that is from where Bright Duffy, got his own line of questioning from. Did you hear questioning? How many children do you have? Then, oh, you need money. You need money. But not in this way. Not in this way. Not this way, okay? How much money have you made from kidnapping? 15 million. Okay. What did you use the money for? I bought cars. How much did you buy? Did you hear line of questioning? Here is another part.
How many wives do you have?
4 wives.
How many children? 80. Father of 30 arrested for kidnapping.
Okay, 30.
How many died?
Father of 30 arrested for kidnapping. Yeah, gentlemen of the ground, I'm giving you the good headline. 30.
30 children.
He has 33, 20 died.
13 alive.
He has 33 children.
20 died. 13
20
alive.
died.
Yes.
13 alive.
Yes.
What killed the 20? 20.
They were sick.
They were sick.
Yes.
Could it be because of your bad deeds that they are dying of what? 20 children? God is not a wicked God. Don't say it's the Lord's doing. God is not a wicked God. To give you 30 children, 20 dead and 13 alive. God is not a wicked. 20 children. Anyway, every event becomes a history. And we can see now that parents, we need to learn. Nemesis, law of karma. Whatever you do will surely follow you. This is another story. I was not aware of this story before. Not until now we are interviewing the man that this one came up. A criminal of this nature, kidnapper, confirmed kidnapper, had 30 children, 33 children, 20 of them died, 13 alive. It's a mystery, and it should be a lesson for all of us that we need to use him as a case study. What is the problem? What led to the deaths of the 20 children? Did they die the same time or every month or every week? Are you a contractor in kidnapping? Yawa. Badama. Give Bashi another one mine. 58. Where is Lanka? You said is it from? But you can speak English now. Akoi pidgin. Akoi pidgin. Ah. So which language does he speak apart from Hausa? Apart from Hausa. Hausa ni. Since when did you start kidnapping?
This is the first time.
The first time. There's always a first time. And there's always an end to everything. Because it's
just
if not because you carry gun, even with this your body, can you stop anybody say you won't kidnap, no go beat you? Police operatives across the country will continue to remain steadfast and committed to the singular goal of national security, subduing every form of criminal activity and insecurity in general in the
The police officer just said that it is karma, that somebody had 33 children and 20 died. And it is not because of a poor health care system that you have in that place. It is karma. It must be karma. Eh? And the karma is always on the poor, I think. Eh? A national PRO, sorry, the PRO of the National Police in the face of the camera, told the whole world that somebody had 33 children and 20 died. It was because of his scammer. Do you know how many children actually dies in Nigeria every day? Do you know that out of 10 children in Nigeria, 6 of them will die before the age of 5? How many of you know that? 6 children out of 10 will die before their 5th birthday. And this is due to so many things, including poor access to healthcare, malnutrition, and hunger, diseases, and all that. And that's why you see, especially in northern part of Nigeria, where a man can have up to maybe 6 wives, and it's like they are just giving birth like dogs, like one person can just have like about 18 children, 30, 40. There was a man in Zamfara or Nasarawa? I can't remember which of the states. The man has 15 wives, and guess how many children? 90 something, nearly 100 children. That they said the guy, they had to stop him from actually using that number during the election, right? They had to stop him from participating in an election. I can't remember the full story, but some of you should be aware of. One person can have over 100 children in northern Nigeria. And this is just to say, oh, I've got 90 children, without counting those ones that would die, right? In infancy, like they would die as infants. Only a few of them will kind of like make it through. And those ones who makes it beyond their 5 years of age, they just throw them on the streets as alimajiris to go and survive on their own. Here is another part, the female version of the criminals paraded by the Nigerian police. These ones are specialists, or they specialize in kidnapping children and selling them off to to couples or families that need children.
Trafficking, syndicate, rescue of victims. I have the following suspect: Pastor Dayo Bernard, male; Rita Agueze, female; Victoria Ugo, female; Namman Puntel, female; Peter Unkwani, male. Can we have all of them out? See how you staple this thing for me. This is wrong stapling. These buggers. This case is so pathetic that young children are being traded with by certain individuals. We have on 2nd December 2024, operatives of IRT carried out an intelligence-led operation resulting in the arrest of a syndicate of child traffickers operating in Plateau State and its environs. The operation led to the rescue of 5 children between the ages of 2 to 4, abducted from Jos in Plateau State, and the arrest of Namma Pontel, female. When interrogated, the suspect confessed that it was one Pastor Dayo Bernard, male, of End Time Army Ministry. It is actually an End Time. End Time Army Ministry, Bukuru Jos, who kept the children in her custody. When arrested and interrogated, the said Pastor Dayo Bernard confessed that he went to Kwande District, Kwanpan local government of the state, in the disguise of evangelism, where he told the parents that he has an NGO to orphanage and convinced them to release their children to him for sponsorship from nursery school to higher institutions. During the investigation, it was revealed that the said Pastor Dayo had previously, between April and November 2024, conspired with one Rita Adeboye, a female of Koolu, in Abuja, and abducted 8 children from their parents at different communities in Kanke and Bokos local government areas of Plateau State, under the same mode of operation, and sold them to different buyers in Plateau State, Abia State, Enugu State, and Lagos State, at between the rate of 350,000 and 750,000 through one Victoria, Ugu, 350,000 and 750,000, selling children, young children, our babies, in the guise of adoption, and the buyers ended up changing the children's names. A total of 13 children within the ages of 2 to 10 years were rescued by IRT operatives from the suspects and reunited with their parents through the Plateau State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. The prime suspect, Pastor Dayo Bernard, further confessed that he had been previously arrested by operatives of the police earlier last year for trying to sell a child for the sum of 350,000 naira. The idea of using an NGO/orphanage as a front came after the first attempt failed. So the pastor is in the hospital trying to recuperate, but other people are here. I know the prominent one. Is it Victoria here? That Victoria? Is it here? Victoria here. What of the first woman? Is it Rita? Is Rita here? Agbo is it? Let them come forward. At least the two of them, Rita and Victoria. Rita, how old are you? 40. Which state are you from? Plateau State. Are you married? How many children do you have? 4. Have you sold out your children? Why are you not selling out people's children? Why? You are sorry. Since when have you started this business? He's a pastor. Is he actually a pastor? So the pastor is now arranging, you get people's children, you now sell to members of his church. This is so pathetic, and it's quite unfortunate that we use the name of God to cause this kind of a thing and to venture into dirty business like this. It is quite unfortunate. And I think we members of some religious centers in all areas, we should be careful of those we follow. I don't think this is a genuine pastor. He's actually, perhaps he went to a theological school and he got ordained to be stealing people's children. But like I say, our God is able and is a very faithful God. I'm sure the members of his church will know, even by the name of the church, End Time Army Ministry. End time. And actually, these are the signs they said will be seen towards the end time. A whole pastor encouraging members of the church, of his own church, to buy people's children. They are not following due process of adopting children. It's allowed in the law to adopt, but there are procedures, there are steps you need to follow to legitimate whatever you want to do, not in this crude manner. Victoria, you too, you are into this business. No. So what did you do? What's your own role? Rita. Rita will buy. So what do? You take care of them. What do you do? Your senior sister was looking for a child. Okay. And you decided you didn't take her to the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development to do adoption. You resorted to this crude and criminal method. Do you have children?
Yes, sir.
How many children do you have?
4.
4. Have you sold them out? Why didn't you give your sister one of your own children to even keep for you? Is it not even better? Now the children now you have at home now, are they happy you are into this business?
No, sir.
And that's why I'm asking if they have children, because I don't think a good mother should do what they are doing. Any mother, any woman as human beings. We're not talking of rams. We're not talking of pigs. We're not talking of goats. We're talking of people's human beings. And unfortunately, they went to go and deceive them. So how do you want people to have trust in you as a neighbor, as a brother, as a pastor, as a teacher, as a family member? Can we see trust?
Nuisance, Lele. This is typical Nigerian way. If you have had an encounter with the police before, it is their way, okay? In order to score the cheap sort of publicity. So that is the senior Edape bright. The bright still bright. So in the Nigerian police setting, right? You are already guilty. Forget it. You are guilty by association. You are guilty by what they accuse you of, and that's it. So everybody watching that, all of us that watch that right now, I mean, are you not going to agree that they are all guilty now? They demonstrate you. You know, that is the policing in Nigeria. Okay? Because for you to know that the police, they are doing their job for real, so they act to actually put them on display like that. Call the media, interrogate them. And when you listen to the line of the interrogation as well, that automatically tells you that you do not even have anything called professional police in that contraption. What you have is just a caricature of what a police should be like. But it's fun to watch. The giant or the giant of Africa. You hear the line of questioning. You know, anyway, I just thought I should share that with us, okay? Meanwhile, somewhere in Delta State, a young man actually escaped from his kidnapper in a very dramatic way, captured by a CCTV camera. Now share that with you as well. Imagine if this was you.
Nanya, bros, I'm on iPhone. Okay, Nanya, the guy make first. Nanya, bros, clear. Nanya now. Nanya, forget me. All the cabane, Nanya now. Obane me phone. Okay, bros, Nanya, whom Nanya fed the bike. Nanya wants to talk. See as I go back. They see, boom. See the guy shoot me for now. See what I do, bros. See what I do. Understand? And I said that guy, okay, you want to shoot. See how the guy can't point the driver. Okay, see what happened now. You know, they shoot again. That's how I want to follow now. They don't lock the gate. They don't move now. So, now I don't move. Yes, I leave motor, I don't move. Okay, they go like the shawarma. Bro, to don't move. Bro, see the size of it.
See that couple and I'm telling you, we'll pass this one.
So you don't pass now?
Now they tell you now.
This will follow straight to bros.
This.
If that answer come bros, can I be there for you, bros?
No one who show them.
So a young man who escaped from the kidnappers that attempted to take him. And he lived to tell the story, by the way. And they had to leave empty-handed. That is Nigeria. So don't be a victim even though nobody wants to be a victim, but you can be a victim of that contraption just anytime, right? So, I don't know. So to the rest of you who are still there, we are praying for you, princess, all of you, we are praying for you, okay? Until one day, maybe one day, right? You can have a country that actually cares for you, for your life and your properties. But for now, everyone is in the hand of what? Of God, Abi? Or you are at the mercy of the criminals, since it is always like turn by turn Nigeria Limited. So those of you who survived yesterday, you were the potential victims of today. But now some of you have survived today. And we are the potential victims of tomorrow. Until then, I always wish you the best. Shall stay safe in that contraption. I want to take calls, but first I'm going to need a short break. So if you are still here with us, listen, you can like the broadcast, okay? Like it, share it, even subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Okay, and if you do have one or two things to add or to say to this, the line will be opened in a minute or two when I get back. And you can actually contribute afterward, all right? But if you have to go, like I said, just make sure that you pay your own offering, like the broadcast. Okay? So I'll be back in a minute or two. Don't go anywhere. The speaking tongue. Thank you so much, brethren. Once again, I'm trying to get our line up, but somehow it seems to be like knocking people back, by the way. So if you are still trying, let's give it a few more minutes and see if that actually gets through while we wait. Here is one other clip I intend to share with us just before the break, and it is from the Wahabi Wole Wole in Lagos. It's a short one. They built on the waterway. I think that is their reason. So illegal structures on the waterway. Here's my first caller. Hello there.
Hello, Mayagun.
Oh, hello, ma. How are you?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm very
You
well.
wouldn't believe it. Someone wants to say hi to you.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi there. And this is. Can you hear me?
Somi. Yeah, so talk to him. This is Somi.
Oh, it is Somi. Hi, Somi.
Yes, sir.
How are you this evening?
Good.
Great. So you want to say something to me, or you're just now shy that mom is there? So why?
Yeah, he's now shy. Mayagun, this boy just dialed you once. He watches me watch you.
Right.
So every day, like, you know, he'll be singing Mayagun today. So today, I think a few days ago, right, Tommy? He said, oh, can I have Mayagun's number? I gave him. Mayagun, you wouldn't believe it. He dialed you once.
And then it got through.
I'm telling you, this is Latu Haruna.
Oh, my lady, Latu Haruna. Wow, it's actually really good to hear from you.
Yes, nice to hear from you.
And then look, see, Somi, that was like, you know, that should be one of my greatest fans right there. Is now shy talking to me. What happened? Somi.
Yes. Somi, talk to Bible.
You must have something you want to say to me. Do you?
Yes, sir.
There is.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Doesn't have that time.
If I have a chance, if I have an opportunity of sitting next to you right now, what would you ask me?
I will ask you.
Okay, maybe not ask me. What would you say to me?
I will say hi.
Okay, and I will say hello or hi as well.
And he's doing a great job. And I will also say you're doing a great job on YouTube.
That's so beautiful. And I probably one day will be sitting next to you. You say that to me, you know, and then we can have a selfie as well. Yes, you know, is that not what? You know, is that not what your favorite you know, some of your fans would do? Like, say, let's have a selfie. Well, it's a pleasure talking to you.
Yes, yes. Thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you also.
It's such a pleasure talking to you as well. Okay, just be a good boy to mommy.
I better not make my picking faint.
No, it's actually beautiful. You know, I have a very wonderful.
He opened his mouth, his eyes like wide. He was like,
yeah.
Like,
see, I have this wonderful impression on the younger children, especially children, so to say, right? Somehow I feel like my messages resonate with them a lot, since there's all of us older people, we are like a dry fish. It's so hard to teach the old dog new tricks. So I kind of like just direct my messages to them, the younger ones, you know. It's amazing.
And he watches you from time to time, but unfortunately today I didn't really follow through with the program. I went to work, it's been snowing, I came back early, there's no school. So I was just trying to catch up, but then I kept on having calls back to back. Then he now told me, Mommy, but what time are they gonna call? And then when I went inside, then I saw it's right now. Then he just dialed it once, my ego. This boy has magic fingers. My ego, thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Mom.
I didn't really follow today's program, but I will go back. Thank you so much.
Take your time, okay?
God
Thank
bless
you so much as well for
Thank you.
in, okay? And send me well to Somi.
All right.
All right. Stay safe, man.
Okay, Somi, say bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye, Somi. Have a good one, okay? That's incredible. So yes, I do have. See, people used to send me pictures or videos of children who fancy the opening music and the closing music as well on Mayagun's Diary Politico. And that's when I knew that I'm actually doing something that is right. Seriously. I've said this repeatedly on this platform that I know the typical Nigerian, right? We are so hard to be convinced somehow. So I therefore direct my messages to the younger ones, especially the ones that we are going to leave behind. They need to know the truth about this place. so that when they are making their decisions, they are not going to continue to help enable this rot. If our young children, if our children knows better, then there is a chance, right, that indeed there is actually a future. The lies they told many of us growing up that we are just finding out. There are some of us that because we have believed so much in those lies, it's so difficult for us to actually, change our belief and then chart a new course. Even though some will say, yeah, let us break it up, but not many actually really mean it. Some people believe that according to them, there's a good leader, a different direction that Nigeria takes right now. They wouldn't mind Nigeria to remain what it is. We shouldn't leave that for our own children. Our children deserve to know better, so that when they are making decisions about that place, right, they'll be making the decision from an informed position. They lie to us. We shouldn't lie to our children. Yeah. Hello there.
My good general. Good evening, brother. Yeah, this is Mr. Z here, man. What's going on?
Well, I mean, I can't complain, same old and same old. Mr. Z, how you doing today?
Yeah. I'm good, man. My good. I'm glad to see your studio, bad J. The fees is too much, man.
I go do. I
remember when you did.
Anyway,
I remember when you did house every evening. You could go your corner and see this people.
And I still want it to be better than this, right? And I know it's going to cost me more. I want to have like about 4 different cameras so that I can be giving all of you different angles like that. And the efficiency is like really tight than this. But yeah, we shall thank God.
And the dance step where they give us when you all go collect, the dance step they give us before our calls come in.
Yeah, that one is just like the icing on the cake.
But you very soon, I'm sure by the grace of God, you'll be bringing guests up, like a proper podcast.
I mean, that's the plan, but it's because I've not had enough crew on board. Sure, you get. If you to say I have all my crew in, I would have started bringing the guests, making it like a more podcast-like, like it would have been interesting.
And if we also had a free country where we can talk and they won't kill us and arrest us and do all those nonsense.
Amen.
People will not be shy to come up and say their mind. But now you talk, you be hiding yourself. You talk. See that woman talking solidarity. God knows what she saw in that Nigerian prison, Man, God bless you. What kind of a country is that? Yes, now I'll come here, I'll talk, I'll criticize the government. I'll go by the government to work harder to what I critique them about. Hey, my God,
they will say you are inciting people. If you are doing something good, why would you be afraid of people standing up to you? Because they know they are not doing right.
And that is when you're the popular one. If you're not the popular one, they'll just waste you, man.
That's it.
They'll just waste you or you'll be missing. If you're not the popular, if nobody knows you, you're gone. I wanted to talk about this.
Who are already
now, a lot of people, just miss here like this. They'll just trace your number, trace your this one. You're gone. That's not a country now. This northern Nigeria, those men when you showed up for police station. Those people, when they say 30 children, 30. You should say these people don't plenty pass us for something.
But we have them say we will do census now so that we can find out. Sure you get.
One man go born 30 people. One man go born 30 people, 20 go die.
That's also kind of a thing. Plenty, Baba. No, no lie.
Another one.
How person go take duam, right?
How person go take duam? 30 people. You see 20 die. See the way he talk up like say 20 just die. When one person, you have one, if your wife has one miscarriage, you can't sleep for days. You see 20 die. I was just looking at God. These people. Then lastly, I just wanted to talk about this Mocha man, that useless man that came to Arise Studio. When they gave him the chance to come and redeem himself, you can see how humble.
I know.
That Felix Mocha, very irritating man. Very, very irritating. And if you study that interview very well, you see when that Vimbai girl, that's the other the presenter, that beautiful, nice, eloquent girl.
Those 2 ladies.
You see when she was interviewing, asking him questions, you see Abati fold. Abati kept quiet. Person we don't collect envelope. When you're attacking your guy and that's the right thing, you don't know how to talk. They do like say they write something. Collect bribe is not good.
That's why they said that they are lucky. Rufai is not around. Rufai is currently, I think he's already on, kind of like currently on leave, right?
You know what Rufai would have done differently. Rufai would have gotten the man. He would have gotten the man's anger to come out and say nonsense again.
Let's give it to them. Because they were like,
They
listen,
did
why
well.
are you always guys so toxic? Why is it that when people kind of like speak up or criticizes you, you will leave the points they raise and you start attacking them. You start kind of attacking their personality. Why are you so toxic?
He was dumbfounded with that question. He couldn't answer it.
He said it was misquoted.
Couldn't answer.
Or quoted out of context.
Out of context. Nigeria, those are the people we don't need.
It can't act victims too. Like it can't act like saying the victim.
Social media. Social media. They brought out.
His family. If anything touches Obi.
Now they brought out his daughter in Canada. Her wedding, her husband. They brought out everything. You know, when you want to take back your country, sometimes you don't just sit down and do things relaxing and relaxing.
They hold in no obedience down. Honestly speaking, people want.
Now in the whole, exactly.
APC. Waiting APC.
That is the truth.
You get.
If Obi para like this, everybody, the whole place will scatter.
You get.
Say this one is this person's child. This one is this person's mother. People overlook those things because they have aggressive people in this war, in this movement.
Because the person who they acknowledge as their leader is a modest guy. Is a very modest guy. You know what I mean? So a lot of people just wanted to kind of like emulate him, so right in a way.
Yes.
If to say the guy,
and that's why people were so.
Go Mr. Z, Baba APC no, they're not rich. Of
course, that is why. People were so aggrieved with that man because this Obi way they talk with the calm. Person with the calm, now they talk this nonsense about. And people could start craze, in one night. You have to call her eyes, please make I can't talk again, I beg, I go have delayed people, man. God bless you so much.
2 interviews in 3 days.
Now in 3 days because the heat was too much.
Mr. Z, thank you so much for stopping by. Okay, Baba. Stay safe.
Cheers.
Have a good one, Baba. Nice one. So I have another caller as well on the line, and I think this is the African Wahala, my own African Wahala. You know one thing, Baba, are you there?
Yes.
I always love this your voluntary role of trying to remind everyone, support Mayegun, get to subscribe onto the extra platform that we have there, which is the YouTube. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, you have taken it upon yourself to remind us here, like, support Mayegun, give him this, buy him a coffee and all that, man. Thank you so much. Your kind of support is invaluable. That I don't joke with it, man. How are you?
Mayegun, me, I appreciate you, and I'm looking for a way to contribute to what you're doing to keep on educating more people. And if this is the least that I can do, then I'll wear it with a badge of honor. Thank you so much.
Really, really impactful, and I appreciate you. Like, that's the most I can also do myself. And then if I have another opportunity again, I can give you a hug, like I did in Glasgow, right? So thank you very much for everything.
By God's grace. Yes, sir. So thank you for the great show. The reason I called in is to tell people that Fulanis are indigenous to Nigeria. And I know this, they actually are, if we are being honest.
Right.
I mean, it's documented Usman Danfodio, one of the first Fulani terrorists in the history of the contraption, was there as at 1804. As a matter of fact, it was already there in the late 1700s.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 300 years ago.
And they are usually travelers from the Sahel. It was originally from the place called the something like that. Go on anyway.
Okay, I thought it was Futa Jalon or somewhere in Guinea, whatever.
At all. But what happened was that they were like traders. Okay, they were not traders; they were visitors who usually come around. And he himself was a Quranic teacher, right? That got employed by the Hausa rulers who had him train their children, because Islam was already even in northern part of Nigeria. So he had to criticize their type of Islam. He said they were not being like real Muslim. Their style of Islam still allowed them to worship, what is it called?
Idols.
Or their gods, right? So, and he now, through his teachings of some of their children who are like his own students as a scholar, right? He had to turn some of them into what later became his own small army, all right, until 1807. That he now turned on the source. It was never originally from Nigeria or northern part of Nigeria, never. But again, history is there to remind us all of this, by the way. So if you have been around since 1804 or 1799, 98, right? That's been a long time. So they can claim to be indigenous now, unfortunately.
So, Marigo, if we look at it this way,
yep.
Nigeria was created in 1900.
Yes, sir.
And if the Fulanis have been in the Sokoto region, in the Katsina, Kano, Kaduna region, as at 300 years ago, before the creation of the contraption, then the contraption met them there. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I want people that are still one Nigerianist. Oh, we can save this contraption. It's just the bad leaders. Those people, they need to realize that if you want a one Nigeria, then don't complain about Fulanis. Right. Because they have the same right as you do. You're not any better than them. They are equal to you. A friend of mine that I had a conversation with from the great Benin Empire, the guy loves Nigeria so much, from abroad.
Those loving Nigeria from abroad, there are so many.
So
those ones,
I've tried to convince him.
Wearing attire wearing Nigerians abroad. They love it.
I've tried to convince my good Edo brother that, listen, I understand you love your contraption. How about you move back there? He said, no, I'm not going to go back there. But I love Nigeria. Okay. At the same time, I'm so angry with the Fulanis in our bushes in Edo State that are kidnapping our people. I said, but they have a right to be in your bushes.
They have to be there.
Because
Nigerians.
if they are Nigerians just like you, you don't have a right to tell your fellow citizens where not to live because they are equally Nigerians like yourself.
That's right.
So that's the only reason I'm bringing this up, to make people that are still believers of one Nigeria, and at the same time, they want to criticize some natural characteristics of the contraption. You can't criticize it. You can't have it both ways. Stick to your Nigeria and the consequences of your contraption.
People need to understand the real concept, okay? It is like you being an American. Whether you are a Floridian, a Texan, a Californian, or what have you, as an American, you can live anywhere. It is unfortunate, though, that the fake Nigeria that we have been kind of like a force to be part of, right, is unfair in characterization, okay? Because what they have now done is that Mayegun, okay, I am not a Muslim, I am not a Christian, I don't have any religion to start with, right? Now, I am limited by what I can do in that contraption. For example, I am not allowed to carry my AK-47, but a Fulani can. It doesn't even have to register it. Do you get that? Because there's a system that says somehow he's endangered, therefore he needs his AK-47. I am endangered, but I can't use my AK-47. Okay?
Yeah, double standard.
Another one is that I can't, as a Nigerian, I cannot go to northern Nigeria and open a brothel, right? I can't open a brothel. I can't open an hotel enough that people can be drinking alcohol openly.
Alcohol.
And that's unfair.
Yes.
It's unfair. If I am a Nigerian, that can live anywhere I want. Now, as a Nigerian, right, I cannot just walk straight to any part of northern Nigeria and just grab any land and say it's mine. But a Fulani can come into my forest in the south, right, and occupy it.
Yes.
So if I dare say, oh, we need to kick all this Fulani out of our forest and all that, they will say, well, I am Fulani-phobic.
Yes.
Right? So that's unfair. That is the lie. If you put the whole thing into concept that this one Nigeria is so unbalanced, it is so fraudulent, that if you try to question it very well, you will see through it. You we see it.
That's it.
So loving this Nigeria is like, it's in itself, it's deceitful, in my own opinion. It is deceitful.
And I give the people that have not reached that level of thinking, or maybe they've not experienced that level of suffering and frustration about the contraption, I give them the benefit of doubt why they still love Nigeria. Because I was once in their shoes.
I don't know what they are loving.
But with time, exactly, they don't know yet. But with time, everybody gets to understand that this contraption is not going to work. And it's just unfortunate that some of them have escaped from the same hellhole and they still choose to pretend like they love the contraption from abroad.
They don't.
It's so sad.
Unfortunately. They don't.
But thank you, Maego. Thank you so much.
The African Wahala.
Thank you for your time, brother.
And yours too. Thanks a lot, and you have a very good
Yes, sir.
one, okay? So the point here is that if we can stop lying to ourselves, okay? If we have an arrangement, put it this way, let's say we have an arrangement. When I was growing up, it was believed that it was okay for an Hausa man to be walking about with knife. I'm not. Let's say things have really gone really got out of hand right now. Okay, where some set of people are carrying AK-47 about. But when I was growing up back then, it was like it's a normal thing. It's like a right thing for an Hausa to be going about, or a Northerner to be walking about with a knife, dagger. And if you engage in any fisticuff with any, you can get stabbed. And they'll say, Hausa, they get dagger out, they will stab you. Like it's a normal thing. But as a Yoruba man, right, I wasn't allowed to be going about with a knife or any other weapon like that. Because they will say, culturally, it's not my culture. To them, it's their own culture. How? It's not balanced. If you want to have a country that you want to call one, okay, what happens is that there must be some mutual agreements. Whatever is good for the goose must be good for the gander. Hello there. Okay, I think I lost that caller. Sorry about that. Here is another caller. I cannot do. That must be Charm, our lady.
Good evening, Michael.
Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing?
Very well. Surviving. Thanks for asking, though.
How's the cold? How's the cold in Scotland?
Oh, ma'am, we are used to it, though. Like everyone is now having sore throats, except me. Well, almost everyone currently has a sore throat right now. Like they are all down with something. So I hope I don't. But yeah, we are surviving.
You'll be fine.
Too? I saw something.
The cold. Yes, it snowed and snowed a little bit, maybe like yesterday, I think.
Right.
It's so cold that let me tell you how bad the cold. The cold is so bad that you abuse Nigerian politicians.
Oh, that moment you always remember that I'm not supposed to be here, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's how bad the cold is.
Be in that place from November and return back in April.
Absolutely. So that's how bad the cold is. That all you do is abuse. That even not for this useless politicians will not be in this cold.
This weather, no.
I shouldn't be here.
I've been here for too long enough that by now I should be spending like 6 months there, 6 months here.
Absolutely. Or we could have been so well off that we'll be touring.
Like,
just
exactly.
Tourists,
probably spend more time in the sun than even in that place.
Exactly. Just visiting. Every now and then. Let's go and see how the other half lives and come back to our tropical.
Miss your area. So, I miss Chicago. I say, really? Maybe you should go and do 2 weeks. I said, well, I'm thinking it, but I don't know if I should. But no, they are making us pretty much like a cost them more for why we are
absolutely
extending our stays.
Well, we're here.
I get it.
Okay, let me get to it so that other people can call. So I think the point I wanted to discuss was just the governance. Just watching that lady, that commissioner, that with the impunity she's using. Commissioner for Tourism in Lagos State, somebody who has done absolutely nothing, but because she has some kind of portfolio, she now feels, emboldened. And that's what, those are the things that we need to dismantle. We need to dismantle the democracy that we have in Nigeria that emboldens madness like this one. the democracy in Nigeria that gives birth to people like Wike, what's his name, the current president of Nigeria, all of those people, all the current crop of people we have in politics. We need to dismantle that particular kind of democracy. We need to dismantle the democracy that emboldens your security officers going into universities just for the heck of it, slapping people up and down the whole place and just acting a proper nuisance, you know. So we don't have a democracy. We don't have any governance, and we don't have a government. I don't know. We're just crazy. Just watching that woman talk the way she was talking.
The system is
with impunity, you know,
it's filled with all of that. To the point that politicians feels like they are doing me and you a favor.
You know. And I don't know what kind of favor you are doing. We're supposed to be grateful,
right?
You know,
and be grateful.
We need to dismantle the democracy that allows somebody to spend 26 years, 26 years, for stealing a generator, or well, for allegedly
for buying it.
For buying a stolen generator. You did not go and chase the person who bought. But even if you chase the person who bought, even for the person that 26 years.
26.
The child that they gave birth in 1999, where we regard as an adult, you know, I don't. It really boggles the mind.
They are married right now. If not because of
they are married.
26-year-old child is.
Oh yes.
Is a graduate.
In fact, if you
married in a working system, probably out there like a child or two children.
Or two. Mm-hmm. You know, some people here in this country, some people in the West would have had all the children they want to have in their life. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. They're probably directors or or VPs.
That's what I mean, like out there in their chosen
not career. There in their chosen careers in their field. But we have a country and a democracy that allows the wastage of human resources just like that for no good reason. That's like what's his name said, that the poor people are really the ones that bear the brunt of this horrible democracy that Nigeria is practicing. You know, and I just wanted to just lend my voice to what you're saying. That place is a horrible place, and we need to start talking about,
when we say that, Charm, when we say things like that, people want us to sugarcoat it because to them, that is too blunt, that is too mean. Don't call Nigeria this. Let us just talk about the people destroying the place and Nigeria is a beautiful. I say, will you shut up? Will you keep quiet? Because the thing is this, maybe if you understand how horrible they've made the place and how horrible they've treated the people there, maybe that can possibly awake the sleeping giant in all of us to understand that.
Listen,
you know what I mean? What
anyone whose argument is that we shouldn't talk about Nigeria as it is, right, is a horrible person and quite possibly benefiting from this horrible democracy that we have. You know, when we talk about how bad Nigeria is, I don't even think that we even said it all. No. You know, every day you hear more and more, you know, somebody is taking children, selling children and things like that. In this present day, we say we are in a 21st century or whatever, and we have people selling people, we have people kidnapping people, and we say we have a democracy, we have a place. We don't have a place. And just two more things because other people need to call it.
Sure, go on.
Even the so-called democracy, I hope we're not looking to the West for their style of governance, because that's their style of governance is also a criminal type of governance. I really don't care what anybody says. I don't believe in their democracy. We live in their democracy. There are massive flaws in that democracy, and I'm hoping that it's not something that we're looking to import into the new countries that we want to have. No. So let's not start asking, you know, we really need to think critically about this so-called governance, because at the end of the day, their style of governance has given birth and allowed Nigeria to, you know, to become the way it is, because there's no one is checking anybody. They like it just the way it is because it allows them to also act with impunity in that country. Then to African Wahala, I don't know, but my understanding is that Fulani people are not indigenous to that particular region. No, if you say that they are herdsmen and they move from place to place, because I think they're from the Fula region, isn't it? Well, I believe that historically they're from the Fula.
Okay, there's a place called Tajalon. And that place is not even a country anymore. All right. It's like this desert wanderers. That's what the Fulanis are. And over time, where they managed to put up a sizable number of population, don't even exist as a country as we speak. That is why in J Republic, being in the middle of the Sahara Desert, okay, they are, you know, they are like partly part of that place, but they are not indigenous to any of those places.
Okay.
And if if you look at your screen right now, all right, this same map that I always put up tells us the real indigenous people of these areas that make up the northern part of Nigeria. They have names. They are in there. They're like hundreds of all these indigenous people of this land in those areas. Fulani has none of them. Not a single one.
Yes. So Fulani has none of them, and that is not to negate what African Wahala is saying, that anyone who is looking to have like this one Nigeria that works has to also understand that that one Nigeria includes these Fulani people, because they're not gonna chase them away. It's going to be very difficult for you to tell them to uproot themselves and leave. I don't know if we have the capacity to do that, and if we'll be allowed to do that, right? Can we argue that historically they're not part of that particular region and ask to reject them? I don't know that we can do that, but I understand what he's saying, that you know, if we're looking for one Nigeria, please understand that that one Nigeria would mean that you will need to encompass these people. That includes them, you know, and we have to understand that these people
Nigeria and doesn't want to accept that it is a fake sort of a fake, you know, demographic expression, so to say, geographical expression, right? If you are not going to accept that, so I mean, if you are going to accept that Nigeria is a country, then you have to also accept everything.
You have to exactly. You have to also accept that. But as it is right now, everyone on this platform, I'm assuming anyone who is not new, who is not just joining the platform today, knows that we're talking about. Let us, you know, separate. First of all, let us have our individual countries and then decide how we want to govern that is unique to Yoruba land. You know, because Yoruba land also have their own ways. Do you understand? Their own traditional, cultural ways. That I say, okay, if we're going to interact with the people this way, this is how we want to interact with them, and this is the legal ways that we're going to coexist with ourselves. So also the Biafrans as well, and those in the middle belt and things like that. But and again, I feel like when that happens, that will stop this Fulani incursion into the south.
That will be on to the people in charge of those countries then. If they are so slack enough to make them, you know what I mean, what Nigeria is trying to make them now, that will be up to them. But let the people decide who they want.
Exactly. Let the people decide. Okay, so I mean, that is about, you know, what I want to discuss with regards to Mocha and the rest, you know, and all of that. You know, I'm sure they'll sort themselves out. Let me let other people call. Thank you, Mayegu, for all you do. You're an excellent person, and I like your show. I don't see myself leaving, so carry on.
Thank you so much as well. All of you makes it more interesting on Mayegu's Diary Politico, and I love the time you dedicate you know, to every session on this platform. Okay, I appreciate you.
Thank you, Mayegu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And I have, I think this is hello, sir.
Good evening, my brother. How are you today?
I am very well. How are you?
I'm good.
Great.
Well done, sir.
Yes, sir. Please.
Well, briefly, what is happening in Nigeria, any right-taking individual should be worried, either you are home or abroad. Because one day you will travel home either to see your family and you become a victim.
Yes.
Those who are abroad, who are seeing good life, 24 hours light, everything, almost like 24 hours, you enjoy life to the fullest, medical school and the rest of them, and they are still supporting what is happening in Nigeria. I think they have to rethink. Sowore and Peter Obi has become a tongue in the flesh of APC. Only one thing that I don't like about this opposition party is that I was expecting, because when you see the idea that Sowore is portraying is almost similar to what Peter Obi. I was thinking that this group, they will come together to form one strong team to actually see how they can actually do things to change what they are all planning for. But the reverse is the case. Unlike Sowore is always abusing Obi or talking to obedience in one way or the other. As long as the opposition party refuse to come together in a united form, they cannot fight together, because it is expected them to fight together. And for Peter Obi, just as you always say that anybody that is waiting for PVC to change what is happening in Nigeria, it will never work because all 16 elections that was held, the result was the same like that of 2023 presidential election. So I think by now they should have to be working together and see that electoral reform is properly done, and INEC have to be restructured to ensure that all those things are put in place. Not when it is in a dying minute, they will now be putting pressure to tell us there's no time to do it. But now they still have a good 2 years that they're supposed to work and make sure that everything that needs to be changed electronically, anything that needs to be certified before them is done. Not when it is 6 months, they will now be signed. The National Assembly will tell you that not to be done. And to make the matter worse, the opposition party in the House, they are more than the ruling party. But where are they today? The reverse is the case.
They are already in the house of thiefnubu. Have you not seen some of them singing your mandate and your mandate they shall stand, because they are assuring them that if they play ball, right, they are all going to
they will be adopted. They will become an adopted. Yeah. There is a saying that when there's no law, there is no offense. What is happening in Nigeria, it's just like a state of lawlessness, where a public official will use police, understand, and in the force of police, he will be doing what is wrong, and the police will tell them, don't do this. And without the police, they couldn't have carried those actions they are carrying out, because they have police with them, the army with them. They will do other than what they couldn't have done if they are alone. And these are the police support. When these people are doing this, like what we have in this part of the world, the police will first of all interrogate those people. Shouldn't do this. Understand? Yes. And the commissioner was saying, he was telling the police, maybe who pay your salary? That's taxpayers' money. The salary is not being paid from her pocket. It's a taxpayers' money. Understand? So that's what they should understand. So the public official in Nigeria, they use the security to threatening their fellow citizens, and the security will be there where the evil or the crime are committed, and they'll just be looking at the supporting because that person is a big person or is a high-profile officer. That is what happened in Nigeria, which cannot be seen in this part of the world. Like the RCCG issue, that 100 days of fasting and prayer is now a routine every year ritual. Understand? These are the same men of God who say that Nigeria, I don't know that is bewitched. And all this 100-day prayer and fasting cannot actually change all those things. What value is that prayer and fasting then? If Nigeria is having a spiritual problems, and every year they do 100-day fasting and prayer, and it is not working, so why are they fasting?
It's a mockery.
So those are so many.
Mocking, it's like mocking, that their God. That is it to me. You
finally,
think it's wrong, but you are now pretending that God should turn to magician.
Finally, in Edo State, before now, they say Edo is not Lagos. We have seen that Edo is one of the weakest states. Or Edo people are the one of the weakest people on earth in the state, if not the most weakest. Because what is happening in Edo State that is happening, I know it's the hand of Oshomole, but how that Okobolo is doing is done by Oshomole. That's why you see how he was happy, jubilating when they do their final thing. They know how to do best. So, and I want to tell Nigeria that APC do not have the monopoly of talk. These people, the language they understand is violence.
Yes.
They have been using it to take to win election and do other things. I think other political parties too, they should rise up when they bring their talk and they talk clash. Maybe that will be the end of the state or the country, so that everybody will now go on his way. Because what they are doing here, like what they are doing, how can a governor dissolve first of all, suspend them. Now this is a ridiculous kind of thing that can never, is not supposed to happen. And people there are sitting there, they are watching and everything are happening there. You will not see the challenge from the citizen. It seems that things is getting worse and worse every day. So until they rise up, just as Martin Luther I used to say in one of his quotes, that no slave master voluntarily allowed the slave to go until the slave demand for it. So, and until they wake up to reality,
freedom is taken.
it's not given.
No.
It's taken. So, I think those are some of the issues they have to wake up and see that the right thing are done. Particularly Peter Obi, if we really want to contest for 2027, he has to ensure with his other political party that the electoral system is changed and make it overhauled. Otherwise, he will come back to cry and say they are located in yes, don't carry people to go and die on the field and come and say you are paying condolence visit to their families.
You know. Thank you so much, Adeza.
All right.
I appreciate you and others tonight. Thank you so much, everyone. Our time is now really, really fast spent. Yeah, even though we started late, okay. And thank you to all of us. I'm going to see you some other time. To my other callers, I am sorry that we've come to the end of the chat, but don't worry. Whatever it is that you want to add to this conversation, you can always, right, have your shots again. So tomorrow is going to be another day. So good night from here. I will see you all again. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun dayari politico. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.